What's up guys, welcome back to FarmStrong. My name's Jack and I'd normally be starting the video by saying it's the start of a new week on the farm. It's not, it's the middle of the week. It's Thursday the 22nd of Jan, I think. And yeah, you probably will have noticed there hasn't been too much content on the channel. So this is just really a bit of a channel update, just going to be a short video, show you around a couple of bits and just touch base again. It's been a very wet and windy January really. Just panning around behind me, you can see the yard's pretty wet. The ditches are getting pretty full up. Walking the dogs this morning, fields are starting to get a little bit waterlogged in places, some surface water sitting on there. So yeah, being a fully arable farm and it being January, it's a pretty quiet time of year for us anyway. Obviously, we're not out doing any field work, just those bits and bobs and yard jobs that you sometimes see me doing. So yeah, for the last week or so, yeah, just been catching up on some of those outstanding things, been in the office a bit, and also have been doing a little bit of work on the Alice Charmers. So I will pop in the workshop in a second and give you a quick update on what's going on there, as well as a couple other things around the farm. So yeah, just wanted to touch base, let you know what's going on, and hopefully there'll be some weekly episodes coming up soon. I definitely will be doing a workshop Wednesday on the Alice Charmers, probably with a video going out in the next week or so. So keep an eye out for that. It's been cold enough recently that I've whipped the diesel space heater out in the workshop. I sort of half resurrected this. It was covered in dust and wasn't sure if it was going to fire up, but it was on the button, so pleased about that. So Alice Charmers, obviously you might have heard in other videos that I've kind of tried to set myself a goal of getting the engine back in and getting this going by sort of March, April. So yeah, sort of 3 months to go on it. So tried to crack on with doing a few bits. You'll see my table with all the bits on. I've managed to sort of start thinning it out of stuff, started cleaning more bits and getting some things prepared. The block is pretty much clean and ready to go. So what I need to do is get the crank and cam shafts back in that, and then we can start getting more bits ready. I've made a good start on getting the cylinder head back together. So after doing all the valve seats, got all the valves back in, ready to go, and that's clean. So that's good and ready to go back on the head, and then we can get the rocker shaft on top of that. These are the bits that I've just been tidying up, getting some paint on, getting some red oxide on. I just felt I wasn't actually going to paint any of the bits, but I just decided as I'm putting it all back together that things didn't really need to start getting any rustier. So I thought just chucking a bit of red oxide on some stuff for now will be good. And perhaps at some point in the future, we'll get the whole thing repainted, as it's a bit of a funny shade of orange. I don't think it's the right orange, but there we are. And then, yeah, last little thing to update on. I've had a whole box of bits that I needed for the Alice Charmers. So I got those from a company called Vintage Tractor Spares, just top of Google when I was looking for Alice B parts, but they've been really helpful. Spoke to the chap there called David, who's helped us out, and they got this, once we got the order sorted, got this all shipped out in 24 hours. So thanks to them for that. And it's pretty much all the stuff I am gonna need to get this thing going. Just in terms of any grain moving on the farm, we haven't had anything leave this side of Christmas yet, but we have got wheat, and behind me here, the oats that we've sold. So I think there's 4 loads of oats behind me here that are going to start moving from next week. So yeah, obviously oats, pretty difficult to move at the moment. So no amazing prices, I don't think, but I think we were pretty happy with what we sold these for, considering in the end. And yeah, the wheat moving in the sort of 164, 165 region, I think. So there we are, we crack on. I think prices were starting to rise on the wheat. I think we had higher prices offered for June, but we want to get the sheds empty before then, get them clean, ready for harvest. So yeah, we'll be jumping in the fork truck a bit next week, getting some lorries loaded. We've still got one crop of grass seed to clean through the seed plant. So that is the, what's the sound sign there? That's the Seago. So yeah, last crop of grass seed, we'll put that through. Dad's away at the moment, so we'll probably start the dresser up when he's back. So that'll be start of Feb. So get that cleaned out, and then that can go up to the other farm and get bagged up once it's done. I've just popped into the office to try and get out some of the wind and weather and try and have a warm up, although it's not much colder in here, to be honest. But I thought I'd mention IHT again. It's something I've mentioned a couple of times on the channel, and obviously there was a big change to the IHT rules that the Labour government made and made a U-turn. So their sort of 100% relief limit was going to be set at £1 million, and they've now changed that as of the 23rd of December to 2.5 million, and that's 2.5 million per person. So that is a very, very welcome change, and for our farm circumstance, that is seriously going to help us a lot with our planning. I think a threshold of £1 million was going to leave a lot of small and medium-sized family farms really exposed to the tax. But thank God they've listened to, you know, a year or is it nearly 2 years worth of lobbying from the NFU and lots of farmers. I think that change to 2.5 million is going to give our farm a much better ability to plan and really reduce our liability. Obviously, we'll do our best through tax planning to try and reduce our liability to zero, and perhaps this change to 2.5 million will allow us to do that. But it's a very welcome change. Look, I don't think anyone in the farming industry thinks the tax is a sensible one at all, but I think it speaks volumes that the NFU has now sort of climbed down from officially lobbying the government on IHT, because I think the 2.5 million threshold is now a lot more sensible and does protect small and sort of medium-sized family businesses at the end of the day. And interestingly enough, I mean, you know, on a personal level, me and Dad did a fair bit of work to lobby our local MP. He was a Labour man. His name is Chris Vince. He's been out to our farm. I've met him in the Houses of Parliament. I think I've probably met Chris 4 or 5 times up until now to speak about IHT. And to be fair, he was engaging with us and wanting to hear what we had to say, and did pass on our concerns further up the chain and obviously into government. And I think hopefully, we felt he sort of softened up and warmed up to us by the end, and hopefully we did make a small difference. Interestingly enough, I'm going to chuck a little clip in after this. I did found a video online of Chris actually mentioning me and Dad, or as he puts it, paying tribute to us when he was speaking in the House of Commons a couple of weeks ago. So that was kind for Chris to mention us, and it sort of made me feel that hopefully me and Dad had made a bit of a difference in this very small part we took in trying to put pressure on the government. So I'll chuck that clip in now, as I thought it was quite interesting. Chris didn't quite get where we live right, but we'll forgive him of that.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And can I put on record my thanks to those farmers in my constituency of Harlow who engaged really productively over this issue. In particular, I want to pay tribute to Richard and Jack Scantlebury of Great Canfield. Can the Minister talk further about how the record investment of £11.8 billion into sustainable farming can help benefit farmers in my constituency of Harlow, like Jack and Richard?
Yeah, I thank my honourable friend for his question. He's right that we're putting in that amount. That's over the course of this Parliament to support innovation, to support agri-tech, to support all of the things that farming businesses can and should do to be able to invest and grow their businesses and to support their communities. That's the right thing to do, and it's turning the page on the chaos and the underfunding that we had in previous years.
Just finishing up on the farm for the day now. Sun's all but set. I hope you enjoyed that little update. Just a bit of content to keep everyone going, and hopefully be back with a workshop Wednesday next week. Take it easy. See you soon.